There are a lot of scary looking games on Roblox, but where did they come from? Are they real? Today we are going to look at some of the scariest Roblox games and see what their origins are. Subscribe and like to stay away from these scary games. The first game we are going to talk about is
Russian Sleep Experiment.
The Russian Sleep Experiment is a very popular game on Roblox. However, a lot of people don't know it has a very dark past. I don't know too much about this, so I'll let this video explain everything.
Yep, if you see them, you need to run immediately, as Russia has created non-human war-fighting beings, and many are dying.
Sunnies, did I hear that right? Because this sounds super creepy. I knew it had a dark past, but this is the scariest thing I have ever seen.
People were terrified after 5 prisoners were sent to do a haunting sleep deprivation experiment in an attempt to get Russian soldiers to no longer need sleep. 5 prisoners were then put into a glass chamber with constant experimental gas to keep them awake.
Sunnies, this really sounds horrifying. I couldn't imagine going through this. Who would have known a Roblox game has such a terrible backstory?
And for the first few days, everything was fine, but it didn't stay that way. By the 9th day, the prisoners for some reason started spreading their feces on the glass walls and covering it up with paper to stop the scientists from looking in.
Dude, this is just very gross and disturbing. If you guys did not know, feces is basically just doo-doo.
With the scientists hearing at one point just screaming. From the 9th day to the 15th, it was dead silent, and scientists couldn't hear or see anything inside, so they said they would turn off the gas and let them go. But that's when one of the prisoners jumped on the mic to say the haunting words, "We no longer wish to leave." So when the scientists decided to open the door, the chamber was not only flooded with water as the drain was clogged up with chunks of one dead prisoner's flesh, but they could see holes on the prisoner's body from them eating themselves.
What the boba? You all, if you can't tell, this is one of the more disturbing myths we have gone over before. Let's keep on doing more digging to get to the bottom of this.
The scientists attempted to rush them to the ER for surgeries, and when they were injected with anesthesia, it not only didn't work, but they kept begging to be back in the chamber and for more gas. After 3 of them had died from being injected with 10 times the amount of normal anesthesia, the scientists gave the last prisoner what they all wished for. And when they put an EKG on him, it showed every single time the prisoner blinked, he flatlined and went brain dead.
Okay, Sunny, so now we understand this photo came from a very creepy social experiment in Russia. This makes me very scared to visit Russia, because what if something like this happens to me? Now we are going to look at the actual Russian sleep experiment game and try to find any hidden secrets we may be missing, Sunnies.
This Roblox game is brutal. This is a sleep experiment. In this game, you're a merciless scientist that runs experiments on unwilling test subjects.
What the flippers? This game is super creepy and disturbing too. It is almost as scary as the real Russian sleep experiment.
Fill your needle with any viruses of your choosing and pick your subject. Watch how they react and always remember that you're in control. If they get too rowdy, you can always get rid of them at the press of a button.
Sunnies, all of this looks also scary to me, but to end this once and for all, I will be playing this game to see if the myths are true. Okay, you guys, for some reason, it spawned me as an evil scientist, LOL. Anyways, I am gonna try to inject this thing to see what happens. Whoa, he turned green, that's strange. Let me try clicking one of these buttons. Oh my goodness, the poor thing is yelling, girl, I kind of feel bad. Anyways, I'm gonna try a few more experiments on these things. For some reason, the injection didn't work. So I'm going to press a couple buttons instead. Girlies, he is really screaming now. Sunnies, I can't show what happened on YouTube, but this game is very cursed obviously, and you should not play it as bad things could happen to you. But Sunnies, this is not even nearly as scary as the next game we are going to talk about. The second game we are going to talk about is
Johnport game.
I'm sure that almost everyone watching has heard of Johnport, as it is a really big Roblox game, and meme. However, I bet you did not know about its horrifying past. But do not worry, Sunnies, this video should explain everything for you.
If you ever get this phone call, whatever you do not answer. This is John Pork. In 2009, John invested all his life savings into plastic surgery, but this is where things took a much darker turn. Without his knowledge, the surgeons performed an experimental procedure injecting John with pig DNA, becoming half man, half swine.
What the chicken? I did not know about this part that is actually very scary. So basically John Pork used to be a human, but he was injected with something that made him become a pig.
But this next part is where I pooped my pants. You see, John used to call everybody, but nobody would answer when he was still alive. One night, tragedy struck and John passed away and he was pork no more.
Well, Sunnies, I did not know that John Pork died. Leave a rip in the comments for John Pork.
After this, there had been reports of people getting strange phone calls from the ghost of John Pork. Some stories even say if you answer the call, you hear unsettling pork-like breathing, while others say victims have gone missing, leaving their phone behind with one missed call from John Pork. But supposedly, if you don't answer the call, he'll come back from the dead and at midnight appear outside your house.
OMG, that last part nearly made me pee my pants. Sunnies, I don't know if this is real, but it is super scary. I think we should do a little more investigation to find out. This final video should show us the truth about John Pork.
John Pork is real, and I'm about to prove it to you. You may think that you're familiar with the legend of John Pork, the swine who became the internet sensation, only to be dismissed as a myth. But what I'm about to reveal to you will send shivers down your spine. If you caught my first video detailing John Pork's murder and subsequent resurrection as a vengeful spirit, then you know this is no laughing matter. The foolish few who dared utter his name 3 times in front of the mirror have paid the ultimate price, disappearing without a trace.
You guys, why am I actually shaking right now? John Pork has always been the scariest myth to me, and I'm starting to think it is not a myth anymore.
But there are those who refuse to heed my warning. And now, my friends, I present you the ultimate footage that will make your blood run cold. This is the harrowing tale of 2 individuals who ignored my advice and barely lived to tell the tale. Watch if you dare, but be warned, once you've seen the horrors that await, there's no going back.
John Pork, John Pork.
Holy shit. Oh my.
Are you okay?
Huh?
Did you hear that?
Yeah. It's okay. Nothing. Close the door. It's okay. It's alright. It's alright. It's okay.
Girl, what just happened? This is actually the most terrifying thing I have ever seen. No joke, I will never say John Pork's name out loud again, because what if something like this happened to me? John Pork's backstory was so scary that Roblox actually made a horror game about it. Let's take a look at this game.
This Roblox horror game was scary to play alone. You get a weird call from a man named John Pork who sends you weird text messages threatening you by saying he's going to take your organs or sending a random selfie. Soon enough, your TV turns on and you find out that John Pork was found dead at his house, but while finishing up some chores inside, you notice that he is stalking you outside your home and wants to murder you.
You guys, this actually sounds very scary too. I hope it is not haunted like the real John Pork.
To prevent this from happening, you will need to perform a ritual by collecting 3 crosses that can be found scattered around your house and collect a sandwich to bait John Pork into the trap, which will send him back where he came from.
Okay, you all, this game is not as scary as John Pork, but it can still be a little disturbing. Now it is time to decide if John Pork is a myth or not. I think that John Pork is not a myth and that his soul may still haunt people. So to stay safe, it's best to not say John Pork's name 3 times, especially in a mirror. But what do you guys think? Is he real? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye Sunnies.